I've got your back no matter what, and I know you've got mine.
Yes.
It's a good feeling. It's security for sure.
It's security.
Support. I mean, everything. Like you need to know your partner's going to hold you up when you need it.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Yeah.
You have to feel supported.
I feel like I wonder why people act the way that they do, the majority of society.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by the dynamic duo Christopher Michael and Ashley Mayland, where they delve into life, love, relationships, and personal growth. Be sure to tune in every week for a refreshing take on life's most important lessons.
I'm excited because there's some things I want to know about.
It's always nice to be in the middle of the conversation of two women.
Two beautiful women.
Just listen,
hello.
two beautiful women.
You're
Excuse me.
Whoa.
She asked for the front seat. She wants me to call her beautiful.
Tell me lies.
You know
That's what I like.
I
She knows.
I think you're going to be too much for me to handle, Ashley.
Which one? Which one?
Well, she knows exactly what I'm talking about.
It's a sore subject for me.
I'm sorry.
So it better be for her.
I'm sorry. I
can't wait to catch up.
It was a joke. It was a joke. A bad joke.
I just always seem to be too much in my relationships.
That's
And
right.
I
We
don't
talked
know
about
why.
this on the way here. We were quite literally speaking about this on the way down here.
And you know what?
What? How guys don't like
Commitment.
not even high maintenance girls. It's crazy.
not even
I'm not even high maintenance.
No.
That's
You're
the
not.
funny
That's
part.
the crazy thing about
I'm
it.
pretty low maintenance. That's the saddest part about it.
Yes,
That's
you
the
are.
saddest part.
You
Is
really
that
are.
I should be higher maintenance than I am.
I feel like it's the guys that are high maintenance now.
They are.
It's ridiculous.
They
They're a
are.
bunch of fucking divas.
They're the girls. They're the girls these days. We've reversed roles.
Oh, no, a lot of guys are jokes today.
Yeah, they
I don't
are.
know where they come from. I can't even relate to the guys of this generation, like, at all.
What is it? What happened?
What happened?
What shifted?
What did?
I don't get it.
I
It's
don't
crazy.
either. I don't either. I really don't understand it.
And I hate to keep talking about this, but when you're married, like I've been married, we're going on 14 years, 13 years, 13 years married, 15 together. And we have a great marriage. We've always had a great marriage. People think that like there's something wrong with my husband because they're like, wait, is he just like he's just a, what, can we cuss on here? Can I
Yeah,
say
of course
that?
you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Like, oh, he's just a pussy. Like, he's just falling.
He's a simp.
He's this, yeah, like whatever. Oh, is that a new cool
That's
word?
the new
But I'm
word.
like, or maybe he's just a good man. Like, they do
Or maybe he's like
exist.
Right,
a
absolutely.
husband.
He just loves our life and our children, and he respects me, and he wasn't gonna like
And why would he
get
screw
married.
it up?
Why do a lot of them? Like, I don't understand what
That's true.
shifted. Like, what happened? I think social media is a big part of it.
Yeah, it is a big
You
part
think
of it,
so?
for sure.
Yeah.
It is.
Why do you think so?
He doesn't have social media. He hates it.
I
Like,
think,
he loathes
I
it.
think there was always, listen, I think guys always had the potential, obviously, to be douchebags. But then I think, social media came out and it just became so easily accessible. And then I feel, to a degree, I feel like guys have a nature about them and they just started acting on it more.
But
And
I mean, is
then-
it really that accessible though?
It is, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
For men too?
Yeah.
because you just type it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if
Like,
you're, if you
literally
listen,
just type it,
keep in
yeah.
mind, right? If you're an attractive guy and, you
But what kind of quality of women are you getting?
I don't think they care.
most guys don't care.
I feel like they don't care.
Guys
That's
don't
the
care.
issue, right?
It's like what you said before we even started with what women want and what men want, generally speaking.
Yeah. Men want their needs met,
Yeah.
Right.
and they'll do and say whatever they need to say to fulfill that.
I think so too.
And a woman wants love, so she'll go along with it because she wants love. So even if it's not love, but it feels like love, that's enough.
I want love.
I love love.
No, I know.
I
Some
can't
men.
wait to get the fuck out of the dating world. Jeez.
Are you in the dating world?
Not
Is that
anymore,
what's-
hopefully. So I met somebody who I've known her for like 15 years now. And I was like, always had this, like, I don't know, she was always kind of just in the back of my mind here and there over the years. And then, I just couldn't shake her one day. And I was like,
I like that.
yeah, that was it. So I reached out to
She
her.
likes that too.
It's progressed quickly, obviously. But
Right. She's his screensaver.
she's on my phone already. So
She's beautiful.
She is beautiful.
I accidentally
Absolutely
Did you look
beautiful.
at it?
I know.
It was a lock screen.
He
like
showed
a-
me, and I was like,
It's-
"Whoa!" I was not
She's very
expecting that.
pretty.
No offense, I just didn't know.
see, Ashley, just no faith at all.
No, I didn't know.
She's like totally expected to date a dog. Totally.
That is not
A
true.
real mutt.
This is not a reflection of what I think of you. I
No,
just
I
didn't know. Like,
No, Ashley gave me some good advice, which that I won't get into, but she did give me good advice. And
let's not get into the good advice.
well,
I give.
because at the end of the day, it's I don't think she'll like the advice too much.
You know what?
Oh my gosh, I'm dying to know what this is.
Well, honestly, it wasn't. No,
No,
I We should go there.
It was more just to
This
play.
is all
play
I
cool.
said was, hey, everything should be reciprocal. If you feel someone
Right.
pulling back, pull back.
that's my
if you feel someone
2024
leaning in,
word.
Right.
lean in. That's all I
Yes.
said. That's
Yeah,
really
it
all I
is.
said. I said if it feels like she's pulling back or she's not like leaning in, then you need to like mirror
Right,
that
to pull back a little bit.
because she may feel pressured. That's all I said.
So you have to know something about me. So I'm extremely over the top.
Like how?
Not in a creepy way. I
He's
know
honest.
what I want, and
Okay.
I do not hold back. So if I feel a certain way about you, I don't care if I've known you for a day. You're gonna know it.
Yeah.
So that's how I am too.
Yeah. Like
It's-
you're
and
gonna
I
know.
am
Italian?
too. I am too.
Are you Italian?
I am.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my god.
And then the way I see
a
it is
thing.
like,
It's a
and then
thing.
you always get people like even with Ashley telling me that, like it was hard for me because I've always kind of looked at it as it's just who I am.
Well, I just said,
if
look,
you don't
like-
like it, then I'm
Same.
not
I
for
just-
you.
Right.
You know?
I said what I should have told myself many times.
That's why I looked at you like that.
Quit communicating with someone who's not communicating a lot
That's
with
what
you.
I
Well,
looked
that
at
I-
you like that. I want you
that
to.
I agree with.
Yes.
Just not out of like, pettiness, not to play games, but it's like you shouldn't invest more than they do. And I've learned that the hard way. That's the only reason I told you that.
No,
Because
and I
I
agree with it.
overinvest every single time.
I did. I agreed with it. I did. To her credit. Whether or not that's what it was, she wound up, I think I gave it like a week, and then she wound up like texting me to apologize, which is cool. And then I kind of fell right back into how I am.
Yeah.
So I was
But
kind
it's
of
okay
like,
now.
It was okay. So I was kind of like, all right, I appreciate it. It was like a real short text. And then it was Valentine's Day like 2 days later. So I sent her flowers to her job in New York
This is like new.
without even,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's new. It is.
Exciting. You're
I'm
in the
excited.
Fun,
I
you're in
am.
the fun phase.
She's
You
awesome.
should be. I mean,
She's
look
such a
at
great,
her.
yeah, she's
gorgeous.
I swear.
I want to see her again.
If
Let me
that
see
was
her
the
again.
only good qualities she had,
Oh,
right?
where's the wife? Her. What do
Yeah.
Immediately.
Jeez.
Wouldn't that be nice?
She's stunning. Ashley, remember in the car on the way here when we were talking and I was like, the relationship when you find the one isn't going to be easy. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, whenever I talk to her about, like, the guys that she's dating or these things that she's going through and the
Right.
same thing with you, it's not going to be easy. When I met my husband, it wasn't easy. It was hard, but it wasn't, I didn't cry a lot. Like, I'd cry, like, we'd get into arguments. You have to get to know each other's
do.
flow.
You
like,
do.
But it works, and you know they're there.
they're not hurting you to a point where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this person did this to me.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they're hurting you because they don't know you yet. You don't know them. They don't know
It's
your kind of like thing.
accidental.
It's
It's
accidental.
not
It's not
intentional.
Yeah, it's not purposeful.
Which is
Right.
a big
Exactly.
difference. It's I'm not trying to hurt you.
And you
I'm
guys
sorry.
have to learn about each other's like quirky parts and pieces and things that are gonna be hot buttons and like
Triggers.
parts that-
Everyone has triggers.
Yes, and like you have to learn to jive with that, and that's not easy to do. So like no relationship, you're not gonna like start. I personally feel like you're not just gonna get into something and then all of a sudden it's gonna be like a fairy tale. Like,
Right.
but also then there's a limit, right? Like there's you have normal problems and then you have like holy shit.
Yeah, you
get
have.
rid
I
of
don't know
this.
you well enough yet to know that that would hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
And then you have, whether I know you well enough or not, I'm gonna try this
And see
because
how it
I
goes.
want to
See
have
how it
control in
goes.
this
Right.
situation.
Or, like,
and it's probably gonna hurt you.
I just
Right.
didn't even think about it. Like, you know, a lot of our fights were like, I was used to just kind of being with my girls. He was used to being with his guys. But then when I liked him, I wanted to spend more time with him. But he didn't understand that, like, it hurts your feelings that I'm going out with the guys. Like,
Right.
oh, you want to go. Like,
Yeah.
can I take you? Like, just figuring out that next step of, like, we're getting serious and more serious and we're learning about each other. And then, like, I'd be like, it's okay that you didn't invite me, but why am I sad? Because I have my friends. Like, it's all figuring all of that out, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily him doing something wrong or me doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Or me
There's
feeling
a
kind of-
difference between
No,
figuring someone
figuring it
out
out.
and someone like purposely trying to like hold all the cards
or play the
Right.
games.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to learn
Because
about
they want to
people.
feel like they have. Yeah.
You have to learn about it, and you also need to communicate because if you don't tell someone
Well,
something's
that's never
hurting your
been an
feelings,
issue.
it's a problem.
Right. And then what happens when
Right.
you tell that person, this is hurting my feelings or this is bothering me? Like,
See,
and
that's where it goes wrong.
That's what you need to know.
And that's how
right?
you know that they're not the right person
Right.
is because I'm a communicator through and through. Like, I want this person to know that this is bothering me. I also want them to communicate with me, and I can handle it. I can handle it. Somebody saying I'm mad at you and this bothers me, and I can go, okay, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I can handle it.
Yeah.
You know, but when I've dated, it's like every time it's like I'm always torn between do I hold the boundary and speak how I feel with the risk that this person's not going to be able to handle it, or do I hold the peace? And I don't want to hold the peace anymore.
No.
Because it's not worth it to me anymore.
What's
It's
the
not worth
point?
it.
It's not worth it because if they can't handle it, then I need to know
What are you
that.
gonna get down the road 6-7
Well,
months
exactly,
in,
and
then
that's
all of a
where it's
sudden
like-
you're
Well, that's the problem. You just can't be like that.
And that's
you
the
need to
problem.
be yourself. And
Yeah.
if they don't accept you for who you are, they're not for you.
Well, and that's it. That's just it. It's a matter of if this person's not invested in you, it's going to be too much.
Right.
There's anything you say, anything you need, anything you request, anything you ask for, anything you want from them is too much if they're not invested in you.
Right. It'll be an inconvenience to them.
But it's someone who
Right.
is invested in you, anything you do, anything you say, anything you ask for, anything you need, anything you want isn't too much.
No, and it might be
Right.
right away, and they might adjust, and they might come back, and but they're gonna work with you. They're
Yeah,
not
they're
gonna
gonna
just,
work with you.
They're not just gonna be like, "You're crazy."
Yeah, you're
Get
crazy
out.
because
Like,
you
you're
have
not-
emotions and
You're too
feelings and you
needy.
wanted this from me.
You're
Oh my God, you're so
needy.
needy. No, I just wanted a relationship with the person that I thought I was going to be in a relationship
Have
with.
you ever dated a needy guy?
Yeah,
No, I have not.
Yeah.
Have you ever dated a needy guy?
I have.
I have too. It's weird.
But it's different.
It's so
It's not like a
strange.
communication thing where they like communicate how they're feeling all the time. It's like we're women that
So
are called
would
needy.
you rather date a douchebag or a needy guy?
Ooh, that's a good question. Like, okay, there's some swag in douchebags, right? That's why
That's
we
true.
like them.
Right.
Like they have some
They're
swag.
fun.
Damn
They're
it.
fun sometimes.
And then you're like, like that sucks because like you always hear like the nice guys finish last, or
Right.
and you're in the friend zone. And I don't think it's that. I think you have to have a mix of both.
Yes,
like,
a mix of both.
a mix of both. That's how I feel like. That's what I think went wrong there. I think we just figured.
I
we just had
want a
breakthrough
nice
in
guy.
Did we have a breakthrough?
But I want to be attracted to a nice
That's
guy.
what went wrong.
I want to have the physical attraction to a nice guy.
Right.
And most of the time, and it sounds so terrible, I hate saying this, but it's like the guys I'm attracted to physically
You're shallow. I get it.
are shallow. And I think it's because they can be.
Wait,
Yeah,
she is
Right?
a-
They
Because
are.
they can be.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they get away with it over
Yeah.
and over again.
Yep.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say maybe it's more of a. I think girls have an easier time connecting with men who are less attractive.
Yeah, I can connect with
do.
anyone.
For sure.
Like for me, it's very hard. Like,
Yeah.
and to be perfectly honest, it's very hard. If I'm not physically attracted to you, it would be very hard for me to see through it. And as fucked up as that might sound,
It doesn't.
it's just
It's just honest.
yeah.
Like
It's tough, and I think for all guys, I think it's very tough for guys to look past looks. I really do.
And
I don't know
it's-
what it is. It's a
It's
block.
like innate.
It's
You
like-
guys are built that way. You're born with certain hormones and certain things
Well-
that, like, I feel like that's just part, like the physical thing that men, I think, go after, and the emotional thing that women go after. I think that each of us is born with certain things
Right.
that we just you can't help it.
yeah.
Like,
but you know what? I want
you're
to
not
I want to
an
like
asshole for that.
I want to go against that a little bit because I have seen guys that literally could have the most beautiful woman in the world.
Right.
And then they'll cheat on her with someone that you're like,
Yeah, no,
What?
you're right. Guys do that.
where you're like, there's no way.
That's an ego
There's
thing.
no way.
That's
Like
gotta be
that,
an ego
this
thing,
doesn't
right?
make
Yeah, you're right.
sense.
It's-
Like
no,
I
it-
think that there are a lot of guys that don't like. Of course, everyone cares about looks when it comes to relationships. They don't want to
Yes,
be in a
that's
relationship with
what I-
someone
that's
they're
what
not
I
attracted
really
to.
meant.
But when it comes to men and just sleeping with a woman, it doesn't seem like they care all that much. They'll take the opportunity if it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, the least you could do is cheat up. You know?
Right, right.
Release, yeah.
If you're
It
gonna
doesn't
cheat-
make it okay.
No, it doesn't.
But at least you could go,
cheat
well,
up.
I don't. That doesn't make me feel bad about myself
See, no,
because
I've
like,
dated girls that have literally said, "I'd feel worse if you cheated up." Like if you were, I don't cheat, but if you were gonna cheat, I'd feel worse if you cheated up.
For sure.
it's a different kind of pain.
They're like, I'd rather know.
I'm like putting myself in these shoes right now. And I'm
it
like,
was crazy.
It's a different kind of pain.
They'd be like, I'd rather know you couldn't do better.
yeah.
fair-
I mean,
fair enough.
I get that. I get that. Because then
That's
at
a
least
fair
you can be
point.
like, ew, you're disgusting. What's wrong with you?
I'm leaving your ass. Go have fun with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you just want to know that you're the best that you could possibly get.
Right.
Yeah, there's an ego.
That's an ego thing.
all
That's an ego thing. But I get
It
listen,
is.
whatever helps you get through it. You know?
It's true. It's so true. It's also wild to me, and watching it from like the seat that I'm in right now in life. And I don't know what my future looks like. I feel really confident about my marriage. I really do. Her
That's
and I talk
awesome.
about this all the time. I
Congrats.
really do. We're very, very, very rare. I mean, that's for sure. Like we know a lot of people, and our marriage is very different than almost everybody else that I know. I think we've been through a lot together, and I think we just respect each other. I mean, he He works out every day. He really works on himself. He likes to look good. He likes to smell good. He likes to he likes to raise our kids with me. He likes to help me with my kids. I don't feel
That's
like
awesome.
when I get home from work, I'm left with like this list of chores. Like I feel like my husband is my partner.
Yeah.
So like he respects the fact that I go to the gym.
Right.
I care about putting my makeup on and still getting ready, you know, and it's hard when you have little ones at home and you're tired and you want to just eat pizza because I don't want to eat kale, Ashley. Like, I don't want to drink this right now. I want to drink that peanut butter thing that you have.
It was delicious, actually.
I know.
It
You
was
guys
so
are
good.
mean. Like,
She definitely cheated you.
you guys are mean friends.
If we're honest, it's almond butter
In
and
my
like-
defense, I just met you.
Mushroom.
Otherwise,
I
I
know.
know.
yeah,
I
it's all
blame it
your
all on
fault. It's
Ashley.
Ashley's fault.
Always.
But like, I don't feel like when I get home from working all day and he works and I work and
Right.
we really care about like making sure the other person feels like they're not carrying the burden. And it's rare. That's
Wow,
hard to find.
yeah.
He was an anomaly. He was really good friends with my brother. I knew him a long time growing up. That respect was built there. So
yeah,
like
there's history.
we lucked out. He tried to date me when I was younger, but he looked a lot different. Like he was really, really skinny. I know you've never seen a photo of Brian.
No,
like,
I
when he
haven't.
was younger. He was like, he looked just like Justin Timberlake, but he was really skinny. And I like shoulders and back. You know, I just liked a different type of guy. So like I like a big buff
Love is
guy.
not blind, folks.
It's not,
It is not
it's
blind.
Not. And we could pretend that it is, but like it's not, right? Like
Yeah,
No,
no,
it's
it's not.
not.
everybody
It's not.
has a person though. I mean, like what I'm attracted to isn't what you're attracted to. What you're attracted to isn't what she's going to be attracted to. You know, everybody has
Yeah,
a person.
everybody.
No, I think sometimes you need to try something outside of your comfort zone, though.
For sure.
Sometimes, for sure.
What does that mean, though? You still have to be attracted. Like,
No, I'm not saying you don't necessarily need to sacrifice attraction, but I still have a type. Like, don't get me wrong. I need to be attracted.
Do you
to
have a
girl.
type?
I do have a type.
I have a type. Do you
I
have a type?
I don't know.
Do you have a type?
I'm way too new to dating to really know that.
Doug's tied down already. He's getting married.
Smart.
Yeah.
Are you getting married?
No, I'm just
Not
talking
anytime
around.
soon, but
I was like, wait, are we
hopefully-
doing this right now?
Hopefully, the girl I'm with is the one I'm hoping so.
That's good.
Yeah, let's hope I never have to date again either.
You
You
guys,
and me, bud.
Don't
we're
get too
making
excited.
strides. Look at us going today. We're
Yeah,
just
I'd be
making
so
strides.
thrilled. Honestly, I think about it honestly, and I'm just like, God willing. I'm 40 years old, and I just want to be done with it.
But
I
there's
wanna
no
be done with
rush.
it so
There's no
much.
rush.
No, there's not a rush, and I don't tend to put pressure on things, but it would be ideal.
Everyone,
Truthfully,
if they're honest, wants a partner.
it would be ideal. Yeah.
they're
How could
honest.
you not? Who doesn't?
I
like
don't care how
companionship?
independent you get. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care how many wonderful friends you have. I don't care how cool and awesome your life is. Everybody wants that person.
Yep. And the older you get, you start really having shit happen. You start getting some real shit.
You want
going
that
down.
person.
And when the real shit goes down, when stuff happens, you're like, I'm on the ground. Like that's
You
the
have to carry the weight.
person.
Yeah, and
And
you
they're
know,
gonna pick you up, and it's real. Life gets harder as we get older. We start losing parents and friends and grandparents and people that we love, and in death and loss. And then as you get older, things start shutting down. It's not so easy to continue to look certain ways, and wrinkles and lines and stuff start happening, and life starts happening, and finances get tougher. Things just get harder all around,
do.
right? And then
They do.
when you're I can't take it anymore, to have that person there
yeah.
that is on your team.
Yeah, and that's why finding the right person is so
So
important.
important.
And that's
What's
why
the
I'm just
point?
in no hurry, because it's I would rather wait for a really long time till I find that person than keep dating and getting the wrong people.
Yeah.
I just it's
Or at
not
least you
worth
don't-
it.
Right, you don't want to wind up
Because
with the wrong person.
no, I
for
don't,
sure.
because it's words cannot articulate how important it is to have the person that's there holding you in the worst moments of your life.
100%.
That's there, that's lifting you up, that's keeping you afloat.
Yep.
That if I go down, this person loves me enough to pull me back up, support me, to carry the load for me for a minute if necessary. And because you would do it for them.
Yep.
And they know you would do it for them. And
There's
I'm the
that
type of
reciprocal
person
word again.
I'm the type of person I would.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. I'm going to be the one supporting you. I'm going to be the one there that's okay, we'll make this work. We'll figure this out. If you need time, whatever, we'll make it work. What do I have to do?
Yep.
But it's finding that is hard.
It
It's
is
hard.
It is hard.
And people give up on it a
And
lot,
so
too.
I don't want
Yes,
to
they do.
settle because I know that I need that. I need that.
You deserve it.
I want that.
You deserve it.
Yeah, I deserve
Everybody
it.
deserves it.
I deserve
Everybody
it.
deserves it.
By God, yes, I deserve it. I deserve to have someone that wants to take care of me too.
I'm gonna get you one of those cardboard things, and we're gonna write on there like, "I deserve real, true love." And then we're gonna put you out on the street of Miami. And
No.
She's like, no,
thank you.
that's
Can
not
you
the
imagine?
demographic I'm looking for.
Can you imagine? She'd be all over that Miami
I'm gonna
Dade
pass.
I'm gonna
Facebook
pass.
page.
Hard-
I'm going to pass
hard
on that.
pass.
It's a great idea, though. I love
Hard
that.
pass.
Do you know
I
who
love
would
it.
stop? Like,
I love it, just not for me.
Yeah, I'll be honest. And the biggest problem is a lot of people do get into relationships that just are not for them. And people give up
Well-
very easily today. Like back in our parents' generation, like they used to work through things.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And they became battle tested with each other.
They did,
right?
yeah.
And now nobody wants to do it. Now things
Yeah.
become too inconvenient for someone. They just think the grass is greener and they're going to just go on to the next.
And here's my
No one
philosophy
tries
on that.
anymore.
nobody tries anymore.
You could technically, like, if you really, really, really wanted to, you could make it work with anybody if you
could.
had to. But I also think life's too short to have to. Like, and hear me out. Because I've been I'm divorced, so I know, like, when you're not compatible with someone and your love languages are completely off and you can't communicate and there's all these things that are missing, you're just as lonely in that relationship as you would be by yourself.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
so it's like life is too short to spend it with someone that you feel lonely with.
Yeah.
Life is too short to spend it with somebody that feels lonely with you.
Yeah.
And especially when it's two good people that both deserve to have that kind of love, but they can't make it work with each other.
Right.
That's sad. Like and we all deserve to find that person that it's like, it just feels easier with you in my life.
Yes.
Like, not my life is easier, not that you make my life easier, but I know you're there.
I have a partner.
I know that, yes, I know you're my
partner.
best friend, even when the love is going like this, when when the
It's someone you can
intimacy is
depend
going
on.
like this.
Yes.
I know that it's me and you to the end.
It's-
I've got your back no matter what, and I
Yes.
know you've got mine.
Yes.
It's a good feeling. It's
Yeah.
security for sure.
It's security.
Support. I mean, everything. Like you need to know your partner's going to hold you up when you need it.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Yeah.
You
And
have
I
to feel supported.
You
I
do.
feel like I wonder why people act the way that they do. The majority of society acts the way that they do. Because I think that, like you said, the grass is greener. I think people wonder. I think it does get hard, or people get complacent, or people get bored. And then I'm like, but don't you remember? Like, don't you remember why you want this person and
Yeah.
like what you've built together? Like, we've gone through thick, like bad times, hard times, like shit times, good times, and all of it. And in our worst times, like there was a time even last year, remember we talked about this, when I was like, you know what, this isn't working. We had a lot of exterior components working against us that had nothing to do with us. We had family issues with his family. We had stuff going on with friends, and just everybody was loud and balking. Like, the happier you are in life, misery
Right.
loves company. So they're coming after you. Like, they see happy anybody. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're happy, the miserable people are right behind you trying to fuck with you. Like, they're going to come after you. So we had so much of that going on with the businesses that we had at home, the success we were seeing, that we started getting like a cult, like working to get us fighting, like pin us against each other. And we never did turn on one another, but we got so sick of the noise. And
Yeah.
I was so tired of it that I was like, you know what? I want to go. I don't want to do this anymore. And I just want to go. And I let it kind of break us for a minute. Then when he was gone, it was 4 days that he was gone. It was miserable. It was awful. I missed him. I hated it. And he came back in, and I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to know. I needed to know that it wasn't you,
Right.
that I would still miss you, and that you're worth it, and we're worth it, and our kids are worth it, and our life is worth it, and everything we've built is worth it, and like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
He was like, thank God. Like, I don't want it either. I don't want to do this. And we realized and recognized in that moment how many miserable people there are.
So is this friends and family that were kind of pitting you up
Yes.
against each other? Isn't that crazy?
It's insanity. Yes,
It's wild.
it was. And it was because, you know why? Like, everyone we knew was going through divorces. They were miserable. Somebody's cheating. Somebody's this. Somebody's that. And we weren't doing those things. And it's like, well, why do you guys love each other? Why are you guys so good to each other? Like,
Well,
ooh, something must be going on. And it's like,
The craziest thing about it is like some of your best friends will give you the worst advice because they want to see you kind of suffer through it. And it's weird.
if they're suffering.
It's
But that's also
ridiculous.
how you know they're not really
Yeah,
your
but
friend.
it's kind of like, and I listen to people like even my ex, like her friends used to do this all the time. So I wanted to say something. You're gonna wind up making. Inevitably, we separated, but at the time, it's kind of like, do you want your friend to wind up alone? Because it's kind of like the advice you're
Yes.
giving her tells me that you want her to end up alone.
Yeah.
right.
otherwise you wouldn't say things like that to her.
Right. What
or
is
to
it?
him.
But it's like you said, misery
What
loves
is
company.
it?
Yeah,
right?
It's wild though.
It's
crazy.
I don't understand people who can't be happy for happy people.
That's
Even
like
when you're
that's
not
an
in a good place.
epidemic right now.
Like at my lowest point in life, if my best friend calls me and says, hey, we'll just, for an example, I won the lottery today. I am so freaking excited for you.
Right.
I don't care how miserable I am right now.
So
Something
happy
good
for you.
happening to you makes me happy
Absolutely.
regardless.
Where's my cut?
Regardless.
when we go and shopping.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, or you know, if I'm single and I'm really sad and a good friend of mine meets a really great guy and it's going really well. Like, I'm not going to be in her ear like, well, yeah, but you never know. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to be that person.
There's so
I
many people
want her
out
to
there.
be happy, and it makes me happy. And if someone is, you know, making her feel good and making her feel seen, that's amazing. I'm not going to poke holes in that just because my love life sucks.
Weird. It's weird
It
that
is a
happens.
weird thing to do, isn't it? Though,
It's so weird.
But a lot of people do it.
It's
Yeah,
like a
it's
new
crazy.
thing. This
It
is
is
like
a
the
weird
new
thing.
thing.
That's
Like,
why
this
you
is
only have
the
a
new
few
envy.
close friends because honestly, I have one or two really good friends.
Yeah, same.
I
The
trust
rest
no
of them,
one.
you know, they're all. It's
Same.
noise.
I have
It's all
like
noise.
3 or 4 people. Like you're
Yeah.
one of them. My husband's one of them. Like I trust him 100%. Like
Yeah.
I don't have further on beyond that. I maybe have 2 or 3 other
Right.
people. And
Yeah.
leaving my home state, coming to South Florida, really showed me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. So are you from here?
No, I'm from New York.
So when did you leave New York?
About 8.5 years ago.
8.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go through that when you left?
You know, I'll be honest. I was going through it before I left, so I actually left to sever a lot of
Same,
ties.
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
though. Like
Yeah.
right, like
Like,
but
that was it.
I had the inkling that was happening
Right.
because of the whole thing when I told you like he had left and whatnot. Like that's when we started to feel it, and I was like, wait, are we ceilinged here? Like, are we done growing and they're not going to let us go anymore higher? Like, nobody's going to lift us up anymore. They're going to try to take us down. Like,
Yeah.
we
They
peaked.
can't support you from this point
Right. So it was like I wanted to go
because
So
it was higher than they
I was done.
could get. And
I started to feel it then. And then when I got here and like, oh my God, it erupted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Wild.
Because now they have less of a hold on you.
Yeah, and well, you can't say anything when you're
Right.
like here and they're there. Like they
Right.
can say whatever they want, and you're not there to defend yourself or like say anything back. And they know it. They know it's like a free shot. You know, it's like a sucker punch.
It's like resentment. I don't understand. I never understood. Like, what do you
for
go-
being happy.
Like, go do your own thing. Like,
it's because people are scared to do it for
Yeah,
themselves.
but if you put half of that energy that you put into resenting us and trying to tear us down into doing something for yourself, you'd be successful.
Yeah, true.
I mean, seriously.
But
you
it's
would
a
be.
fear. It's people are afraid that they're not worthy of the things that other people do. They're afraid that they couldn't make it if they moved to Florida. Like
Yeah.
they're and so instead of being happy for you, like making this big huge life change, their fears take over, and then it makes them feel insecure because it's something they would have wanted to do, but they never had enough faith in themselves to do.
Yep.
So
It
they
is.
can't be happy for you
It's
because now there's
interior.
this feeling of insecurity that I wish I could do that, but I can't.
And
because
are we
I
not
won't.
good enough?
That's fine.
And am I not good enough, or what makes her think she's so special, or like, you know what I mean? It just it turns it
becomes
turns
toxic.
into a bunch of other things.
But it's like, then just shut up. You don't need to interject yourself into it. Like,
No,
then
I
just
agree.
shut up, sit on the sideline, and
Just
be miserable. You
let
don't
people
need to
live their
you know.
lives. Just let people live
So
their
weird.
lives.
It's the
Like,
easiest thing to do to just stay out of somebody's
Isn't it, though?
business. It
Yes.
really
to
is.
scroll on.
Like,
Just-
seriously.
Like I saw something I don't agree with on the internet today, and I'm just gonna scroll on. Like,
it is wild. It's a wild concept.
It's nuts. I can't get over it. But there's so much of it today.
Yeah.
So, and again,
Well,
keep in
and
mind.
there's a lot. Keep in mind, mental health is a crisis right now.
No.
People are extremely depressed,
But let me ask-
extremely anxious. There's like it's really bad right
But
now,
let me
and
ask
so
you
that
this.
plays into it as well.
Do you think it's worse now that we're just noticing it more now because
Mental
of social
health?
media? Everything.
Ooh, that's
I
a
think-
really good question.
I do
we
think-
see a lot more of
We've
it
been
now than we
asking
ever
some
did.
really good questions. I
do
like,
think- Like,
I do this
right?
for a
Like,
living,
I
right?
know. Like those are some good juicy questions.
So
you
I have a
guys.
couple of concepts. I do think mental health is worse. Yes, and the reason why I think mental health is worse over the idea of that it's just being more documented is because throughout history, people had a purpose outside of a job.
Right.
There was community. Everyone was working together to make everything work for everyone. Does that make sense? It was
does.
we'll go way back. Like, it was a village of people all working their part to contribute for the good of everyone. Everyone had a purpose. They weren't sitting around idly all day. They didn't have laptops and things like that. They were all doing something every day that meant something to everyone there. So they had purpose. They had meaning. They had something to do every day, something to focus on every day. And everything they were doing was contributing to something bigger than them.
So you
It
think a
felt
lot of
like,
people
yeah.
lost their purpose?
Oh, 100%.
And they're scrolling a
100%
highlight reel.
possible.
When you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on people's highlight reels
They're
all day long.
numbing.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
that's what you say.
numbing.
Yeah.
It's the and the craziest, and I can tell you from personal experience,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
happiest people on there, the ones who put their shit up the most,
Aren't
are
really
the
on
most
there.
Miserable.
Well, oh,
Like
okay.
I know couples, I'm telling you, and I would
Yeah.
never say anything, but they are miserable.
I know.
Really?
I have
And
to
if you
actively.
if you saw their pages, you would think
They're so happy.
they were like,
Yeah.
like you'd idolize them as a couple.
That's sad.
See, I have to like actively remind myself to like post about Brian because I feel like he gets left in my shadow a lot on accident because I have so much shit going on all the time. I have the kids and homeschooling and running the businesses and the
And he
brokerages
probably could care less,
He could care
honestly.
less. Doesn't bother him at all.
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I'm like, you know what? I do see you. So every once in a while, I'll put that sweet post up and be like, my husband's amazing, but I definitely forget to do it.
No, but it's
But
nice.
You see the ones that are constant and you're like, that's broken.
But the great thing about
I
it sounds
forgot
like
about my
one of the great
husband.
things about him, obviously, is that he's secure with you.
Oh, very
so he
secure.
doesn't
As a
need-
person.
He doesn't need the reassurance.
Right.
Right.
'Cause
But
I
he-
was gonna
going,
say, like, if you don't feel the need to do that,
Yeah.
it's probably a good sign.
yeah, exactly. You're doing
Yeah.
it because you want to.
Yeah, I'm doing it
But
because I
that
want
goes
to.
back to like the whole mental health thing is like people don't have a purpose anymore. Like they're not contributing to their communities or society in any way. Like people are so singular and independent now. Like there's nothing bigger than just the thing they do every day.
Yeah.
Their
And
office
if they-
job and their, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and if they do contribute to society, they want their ego strokes for it.
Yeah.
They want their notoriety. They
Yeah.
don't want to just help anymore.
because they don't
want-
know
because
that that's not the point.
That's a leg up for them and finding a purpose. That was
Yeah.
their they sought out to see or do something different to make themselves feel better. And they
Yeah.
go do it and then they want that like accolade.
Yeah.
Like, good
Well, that's
job.
narcissistic, to be honest.
It
It's like
is.
if you're doing it for accolades, you're not doing it for the right reason.
And
so
do
like,
you
you're
feel
not
like
gonna.
that word has like taken off in the last 2 years? How many times have you heard the word narcissist in the
Oh,
last
it's
2 years?
so much. That's
Huge.
crazy.
It's like a new
Huge.
thing. Like that's
But-
a new word.
But I will
honestly,
say this.
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's overused now. at this
Well,
point.
no, it's
It really
totally
is.
overused.
It's really overused.
I mean,
Gaslighter.
that is one of those things.
You got to see some of the comments.
I
Like,
think there's a
people
lot of
will call me-
narcissistic people that aren't necessarily a narcissist, but they have the tendency.
They call you a narcissist?
No, I've had people call me. Oh yeah, actually, one guy did go on a tangent. Like, no matter how many people went against what he was saying to me, I'm like, dude, how many people? Like, you can keep calling me a narcissist all day. That's not going to make
It's your
it
only
sell.
word. That's all you got.
It's ridiculous. Or they'd say,
just learned it
and
last
then
week.
every time I would say something, they would back him into a corner. He'd tell me I'm gaslighting him. I'm like, dude,
See?
I can't win.
Did I just say I said
like-
gaslighting?
But you
This
know
is
what?
word
That's what
number
they
2,
do.
I'm like,
right?
are you going to tell me that everybody that disagrees with you is gaslighting you? Like, what the fuck are you talking? First off, when you gaslight somebody, there's a what do you call? What's the word I'm looking for?
An intention? Like
No,
there's like a
there's a power comes into play. It's
Oh, yeah,
like,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
you know,
Dynamic.
there's a power dynamic in play.
Yeah.
So when you're on social media commenting to a podcast host, like there's no power dimension. Like there's nothing in play here.
I don't even know you.
It's
bro.
your opinion versus my opinion. So I'm not gaslighting you. I'm disagreeing with you. What are you talking about?
So true.
But it's ridiculous.
But a
It's like-
narcissist is always the first person to call it out.
Every single
Oh,
Oh,
you're
call out.
gaslighting me. Wait, what does that even mean exactly?
like what is that? What's happening?
Well, let me tell you because I do it all the time.
Right. Exactly.
I know exactly what it is. I'll tell you
Oh, the
by
best
doing
one-
it to you
the-
and then saying you're doing it to me.
The best was he had the nerve. He goes, I'm a narcissist survivor. Meanwhile, you can look at this guy's page and you're like, there's just no way. Like, this guy's just
I'm a
delusional.
narcissist survivor.
Survivor.
Aren't
Like,
we
it's-
all?
If you're living, you pretty much are.
So is the world.
We survive them
The
every
entire
day.
world, yeah.
They're
Every
like-
day,
It's
every
wild.
day.
But I don't know where these guys come up. It's crazy. I just can't. I can't get over it. You almost can't even have a discussion anymore.
No.
You don't
People-
have it as bad as the girls do, trust
no,
me.
I don't doubt that, but I'm saying people
No
got
offense.
soft. Like everybody got soft. That's
So
the problem.
soft.
They got
And-
soft. They just did.
And then when you're not, you're an asshole.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
You're
when you
simple.
don't care and you're like, I'm good. Like I don't care about you. They're like, oh, you're a horrible person. I'm like, but no, I just don't care.
Care about your well-being.
I don't
Right.
want
Just
anything
not
to
your
happen to you. I
opinion.
just don't care. Like I'm gonna go. Okay, I just don't.
No, like, I
I'm
don't-
sorry. I'm busy. I'm happy. I'm busy. I'm doing my things. I'm like busy. I don't need to like worry about you. And you are so much more concerned about me. Like I'm gonna go. Like I'm busy and I'm happy.
But again,
Because
that
I'm
comes
busy.
from a
Because
place
I'm-
of insecurity on
and it
people's
comes from
part.
having a purpose.
Yeah.
And when you don't,
When you have one and
you're
you're
the
busy,
opposite.
the people that don't are insecure.
Bingo.
Because they think that it's personal, but it's not.
It's definitely not.
And you can tell them over and over, I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I'm not.
Just busy.
I don't feel like I'm better than you. I'm not trying to hurt you with my lack of responses and things like that. I will respond anytime I get a chance, but my world isn't centered around that.
Right.
No.
And it can't be, and it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be.
No.
And it shouldn't be. But it doesn't mean I don't care about you as a person. It just means I'm busy.
And when you're happy and you're thriving and you're doing well and somebody brings you that conversation, you're already like,
Yeah.
I think I'm done with you.
Right.
On edge.
Well, you know, it's like,
Because
wanna-
it's not the first time.
I'll be honest. Like sometimes, like I can be very laid back about it to a degree when people are like that. But sometimes, like, you just want to be like, dude, like you got to do something with your life.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry to say, like you're 40 something years old, you're 30 something years old, and this is what you're worried about.
Yeah.
Like the reason why you're worried about this is because you have nothing going on, and you
like-
need to do something with yourself because it's starting to bother me now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it
then what
is. I'm
happens
sorry.
when you
It's
say
just-
that? When you say that, then you're an asshole, right? Like, and I'm like, no,
Well-
you're not in it. No, you're not. No, I'm not being mean to you. I'm trying to tell you, like, you should think about this.
Yeah, like you need to
trying
sit
to-
down and reevaluate what's going on because seriously, it's not working for you.
It's not working. It's in here. It's interior.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the work that you have to do inside.
People hate a mirror. They hate.
Oh, they
looking- They
do.
hate a mirror.
Well, I mean,
they hate a mirror. They don't.
It's a dark
want-
place
they don't
when you
want-
haven't done it before.
It
I
is.
learned so much coming here. When I left and went through all of that explosion, I built so much off of everything. And I really dove in. I called my mom. I called my best friends that I did trust. I talked to my husband. I even asked my kids. I asked my 10-year-old, I'm like, does mommy seem like sometimes maybe she's like mean or selfish or like what? And I asked the collaborative around me, like, is it me? Am I doing something that I need to work on? And they gave me constructive criticism, but no, I mean, essentially to be real, like to be honest, there wasn't anything that I was doing they're like, no, these people are broken people. Like these are broken people, and everybody has stuff they can work on. So we're not
Yeah.
going to tell you you're perfect, but. It's nice that you even asked that because
Yeah.
most people won't.
That's called self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
Right.
I want to see the
Self-awareness.
mirror. I want to see the mirror. Like if I got a shitty thing going on, I want you to tell me so I can fix it, right? Because you're not going to hurt my feelings.
Same.
I'm secure. So like,
Same.
I
Like,
want to know.
Let's say
Even
you
if it
better
hurts my
yourself.
feelings.
Yeah. How do you grow without?
Even if
Right.
it hurts my
Yeah.
feelings, I'm okay with that. I don't mind being called out. Like if I'm like,
because you're a terrible human being.
Yeah.
but it's
You're
just like
awful,
worse.
Ashley.
but I'm okay with it because
For
it's
me to
like
tell you that.
I'm not afraid to look at myself. I know I'm not perfect. I know I have a lot of work to do.
I don't even want to be perfect.
But no, but even if I did, it's like I have enough grace for myself that if you say, "Hey, this is really bothering me," and you're doing this, I can go, "You know what? You're right." Like
Yeah.
I can, but I have enough grace for myself to like really look at myself and go, "Yeah, I could do better than that," but I wasn't. I can. I'll work on it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat myself up over it, but I'll work on it.
yeah.
No, you should never beat yourself up. Like you said, it's the only way you're going to improve yourself. Like if people are always sitting there stroking your ego, then you're never going to grow. Like you can't possibly. You need to know what's going on and what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
And if you've
Not
ever,
go ahead.
oh, so sorry. If
No,
you've
no,
ever
go.
been in that situation and you have found something that you need to work on and you did take the time to work on it and you fixed it, it's the best feeling in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes you want to do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
Like, I want to seek to keep being better. Like, how do I keep fixing those things inside of me that I don't love or like?
Yeah.
Like today on the phone, I was like talking to some car dealership that was dealing with some stuff, and like, he wasn't saying what I wanted to hear. The customer service was trash, and I was super frustrated. And I mean, I negotiate for a living. That's like what I do. And I'm like, I don't like what you're saying. And I said a cuss word to him in an argument.
Cuss word.
I said a cuss word.
Cuss word.
And then I was like, I don't like that I did that. I don't like that I did that because now he knows that I'm here and I don't want to do that anymore. And I realized in that moment, I'm like, oh, good job, Ashley. Like you saw like a blooper and you fixed it right away instead of like, I knew it and I didn't want to act like that anymore. So I stopped acting like
Yeah.
that. It was amazing. Didn't cuss again the whole conversation.
And
like,
it's pretty wild because watch, the more you do that for yourself and the more you make those corrections, the more things in your life get better.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
You don't, without you even realizing it. You'll
Yeah.
notice you just, without even realizing, you grow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the more improvements you make to yourself, the better off you are in life. I mean, in anything that you do, whether it's a relationship, work, the way you engage with people, the way you negotiate with people, you improve all around.
Well, and there's nothing harder than being in a relationship, whether it's friendship or romantic or whatever. There's nothing harder than being in a relationship with someone that's just like a wall, that no matter what you come to them with, like they can call you out and you're like, okay, yeah, no, that's true. I'll work on it. But if you go to them with anything, it's your fault. all of a sudden. Like,
Right.
no, that's not true. I wouldn't do this if you didn't do that. I wouldn't have said this if you hadn't said that. You know, whatever it is. Denial of imperfection, where can you go from there?
You can't.
Can't go anywhere.
How could you
You're
even
stuck.
have a how can you even have a relationship?
It's over.
Like
Family,
you-
friends, romantic, like you
Yes,
said.
if
it's
someone
over.
can't look at themselves and just even if they don't agree and go, you know what? That was not my intention, but I am sorry. Like even just acknowledging
Yep.
that it hurts you or that it's bothering you, even if they're not at a place yet without thinking about it, that they can reflect on it. Just acknowledging,
Yeah.
you know?
I
It's
feel
hard
like
for people though.
it's so hard.
That's the stage that I'm at. I'm having a hard time with something like that. but
Yeah?
I feel like that's where I'm at personally.
Like where you're having a hard time
Like, what is it?
acknowledging
no, just
or
like,
someone in your life is.
Just, no, like me personally, I feel like I'm having a hard time with really getting down to brass tacks as to what my issues are with these things. But I do acknowledge them.
That's
Yeah.
the first part.
And that's okay.
That's the first step.
It sucks when you do it and you hurt the person that you're talking
Well,
to.
here's the thing.
But that's-
Sometimes
but
they're
that's
not
it.
even right. Like they may have seen something the wrong way, heard something the wrong way, but by you acknowledging it and just
Bingo.
apologizing, you're at least giving them that validation, whether it was a trigger or whether, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people are just triggered by things and it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But being able to just say, you know what? I don't necessarily understand, but I am sorry because I love you and I care about you and I would never want you to
I
feel
love
that way.
you
Right.
enough to work on the thing.
Yeah, I'll
that
work
I
on it.
know
I'll work
that
on it.
is triggering. Like,
Yeah.
we have these conversations. Like I mean, it can be the stupidest thing. Like
anything.
it can
Yeah.
be the stupidest
Yeah.
thing. Like my husband brings candy home for my kids every day when he gets home from work. It's his daddy thing. He loves to do it. Goes to the gas station, gets some candy every day, brings it home, and I'm like. Dinner is ready. Like, don't give them that every day. And then finally one day after I'd asked from, I'm like, culture. I'm like, we're in a fight. Now we're in a fight. Like, we're in a fight. And he's like, why? And I'm like, the candy. Like, I've said this this is so stupid. This is such a stupid argument that we're in. And it's such an easy fix. And he's like, I didn't know you cared that much. Like, you really genuinely cared that much. I was trying to belittle my own because it's such a dumb issue.
Right.
So I'm trying to like just kind of tolerate, you know, I'm not really putting it in, and then I explode, and then we're here in this fight about this stupid tiny thing. So after he recognized it, he's still doing it. Don't worry, he's still doing it.
Of course.
But he's like, it's okay because I'm putting it up here, and they don't know that it's here. And after dinner, I'm gonna
See,
get it.
compromise.
That's good,
What?
How
Yeah.
stupid
How
is that
beautiful.
dumb story? But I'm like, the other day but again, that's me going, looking at him, respecting him
Right.
because we're working on things. Right?
Yeah.
It's the
And him
dumbest
respecting
shit,
you
but,
by
like,
going, look, I think this is silly that you
yes.
think you're so mad about this, but
Yes.
I didn't even realize you cared that much. So,
it's a win.
Yes.
The fact that you acknowledge that something is happening, that's the first step. People can't even do that though.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Not in
hard.
this generation.
It's hard for people to compromise. I don't know why.
I don't
Compromise
either.
is like the
Can't.
easiest thing in the world.
they can't,
It's
you're,
so
if you
silly
get
to
upset,
me.
they're immediately like closed off. Okay,
Just talk.
done.
So
I'm done
weird.
with you. Like, you have an issue? No, thank you. I don't have time for that. I
And
don't have
by
time.
the
I have a
time-
lot of time, but not time for that.
No,
And by the
it-
time it's there, it's so bad already. Like it's
true.
gotten so bad that then they come to you and they like lay it on you, and you're like, "What is happening?" Like you almost get blindsided. It's just nobody communicates. I feel like that is a huge thing. Like
no, it is a huge thing. And the other thing, we talked about this before, but when you try to talk to someone and open up to them, and then they just twist what you say. like,
the
completely,
narrative.
or they just
Isn't
completely.
that gaslighting?
Gross.
Isn't that what that is?
Well, gaslighting is more like if they make you,
Gaslighting and manipulation.
well, gaslighting would be more, I guess, more like they're making you feel like you're crazy for how you feel. But I'm talking about someone literally twisting, how you're feeling. Like just saying, no, that's not really how you feel. I think this is how you feel. Or this is what the reason is. And it's like, well, then you're never going to open up to somebody again if they
Yeah.
do that to you.
Right.
How many times can someone take out of context what you're saying?
Yeah.
Before you just shut down and you're like, I'm just not talking to you anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
that's it. It's
Because
done.
even if I tell you how I feel, you're going to make me feel bad for feeling that way.
Right, you're going to twist it. You're going to make it. You're going to turn it into
It's
whatever
going to
narrative
suddenly
you
be
want
like
it to be.
my problem. It's your problem
Yeah.
for
Right.
being upset about that. That's
Right.
your problem. I'm not doing anything wrong.
What suits you? What suits your story best? And then it's so frustrating because how do you back yourself out of that? How do you get out of that?
You don't.
Can't. That's a huge thing right now too. I mean, I feel like the media does it, like everything, every narrative. like,
everybody does it.
It's so out of control lately. And again, like here I am in South Florida looking at all this beautiful scenery and all this shit to do, and I'm like, wait, guys, did you see all this? There's so many other things I
Right.
want to be doing that is not this. Like, everybody just takes everything so far out of context now. It's awful. It's been like, that's been a thing too.
No, they do that. Everything. Everybody takes everybody for granted too.
Yeah.
It's wild.
What's that saying? What is that saying? The give, like if you're a giver, you have to watch it because the takers or your
Oh,
limits.
yeah.
What's the limits one? If you're a giver, you have to have limits because takers don't have any.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, is that the truth?
Yeah, it
is
is.
the truth.
Unfortunately.
Well, they'll take for as long as you let them.
Yeah, they
I mean,
will.
seriously.
They
But
will.
the thing, I was telling somebody, like, but the thing about takers is, if you set boundaries for yourself, eventually they'll stop trying because they're only willing to do it if it's the path of least resistance.
Yeah, true.
Once you resist them to a certain point, they stop.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they don't want to try anymore. It's not.
No,
it's
they
not
don't.
worth the effort to them. If it's not coming easily to them.
No.
Then they're going to move on to the next person.
They want
And
free
that's
and
it.
easy.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why you need to have boundaries because when
Yeah.
you set boundaries that are concrete in your life, people like that, and that they will inevitably just leave your life.
Yeah,
Yes.
they,
will.
they will.
It's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
painful, but beautiful.
It
We talked about
Yeah,
this today
it is.
too,
That
didn't
part
we?
is too.
Like, yeah.
painful, but
we
it's
totally
beautiful.
did. We talked about this today too. I feel like
Yeah.
that's definitely something I learned this year that I'm so happy that I did.
Yeah.
Life is so much more fun and vibrant when you're sitting at the right table with the right people.
Yeah.
Relationships, again, the same thing. You know, watching her go through what she's gone through so many times, like with these people. And I'm like, you are an inspiring, beautiful, wonderful human. Like, take everything of how she looks away. Just what's inside of her is absolutely beautiful. You don't find it. Like, you don't find that in other human beings anymore. It's hard. Like, you're saying that it's so hard to find. You're the thing. Like, you're the catch.
Oh, thank
so
you.
for me, I just look at all of that and I'm like, if it's like that right now, like, it's got to be, I don't know. It's crazy to
Well,
me.
you would think, right? Nobody, and the fact that people don't see it in you is it's
Wrong
pretty,
table.
It's pretty outrageous.
It's well,
like,
I wouldn't even say that. That people, that's what attracts people, right? Like what they can see in you. But again, it goes along with the free and easy part. It's like if any conflict comes into play for someone that's looking for free and easy, like I just love people.
Well, so
so
let me-
I meet someone, I'm invested because I wouldn't be spending my time here if I wasn't.
right. So,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, I was gonna say. So let me rephrase that also. But they're not willing to do what they need to do to hold on to it.
Right.
That-
it's not that they don't. I don't
that's-
think it's that. Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're not willing to make the commitments that they need to keep someone like you.
Yeah.
Which is outrageous because what else is there?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I can't figure out.
I don't
Like
know.
coming from where I'm at, like from the outsider view, from being your friend, like that's where I'm at. Is like, it's definitely the wrong people. It's the wrong
It is.
table.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I know I'm an imperfect person. I'm in therapy for that reason because I know that I'm not perfect. I know I have my own insecurities. I know I have my own triggers, and I know that I have expectations for people to be a good, strong person in my life because I know that I'll be that for them. But I am having to learn that, like, it's just not the way that people work anymore. And sadly, like, my presence and my willingness to, you know, be in someone's life and give and do doesn't equal reciprocity. Like, they have to be willing, you
Right.
know? And so many people are just like, no, this is great. This is awesome. This girl like gives me gifts. She like shows up at my house with coffee. She's, you know, she'll pay for her own meal half the time. Like she'll, you know, because that's just who I am. She'll pay for mine. Sometimes she'll just bring me gifts. She'll bring my dog gifts. This is great. But then the second that I require something in return,
The crazy thing is, it's usually never anything big that you
It's-
require. in
it's
return.
called communication. I just
Right.
want communication. I just want to
Like-
be pursued.
Yeah, like it's
Like a person that's
it's
worthy
not-
of being pursued.
It's never a big ask, right? It's like I don't need you to do for me like I do for you,
Right.
but I just need certain things.
But at
right?
least show up
Like,
for me if I'm like having the
Right.
worst day of my life and I call on you and I've been there for you in a million ways. I don't think that it would be, you know, mind-boggling for me to expect you to show up.
Not at all. It's
Like-
like
Be considered.
To be considered, that's the thing. It's like when you call someone and you're like, look, I'm in a bad place, and you know that you've been there for them over and over, and that you would be anytime, any day, no matter what, you'd find a way to like show up and do whatever it is they need from you or be there for them. And then the one time you call them to be there for you, and it's not like they have anything else going on, but they just won't.
how they're selfish.
It is unbelievably heartbreaking because you're
It
going,
is.
did I mean anything at all to you? Do I
Right.
mean anything at all to you that the one time I need you, you can't be here?
Right, the
The
small-
one time.
the smallest.
And
of
it
asks.
took a lot for me to even ask. Like,
But it's
Yeah,
the smallest
people-
thing.
yeah, it is.
It's not a big task. It's like being there for somebody that you love
And all
care
you're
about.
asking
I
is
mean,
for
are you
them to
kidding?
just be there with you.
Right.
You're not asking them to solve a problem. You're not asking them to like, go.
Hiding a body for you.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
I mean, I will.
just be in the room with me.
You're asking the wrong people.
Give me some
It's
comfort.
like, listen,
Tell me I'm
just-
going to be
just
okay.
love, support, and respect me, and I'm good. Like I don't really need anything else.
Yeah,
you know?
that's literally it.
It's a lot for people to do. And it's weird because it's not for us. There are
Right.
certain people, and I feel like the ones that have the outgoing personalities that can sit here and have banter and conversation like this, it's not hard for us because we like people.
Yeah.
We
I
enjoy
love people.
conversing. We enjoy doing nice things for other people. We don't
Yeah.
want anything back. But when
Yes.
you go and you look at it in a sense of like, hey, here I am, like now I need something, you are automatically. It's your very, like, I'm telling you, when I left, I saw some ugly behavior.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, why I've done so much for you. I felt so valuable in your, I thought.
And you didn't do it for anything in
no,
return.
I didn't.
But
I
you
didn't.
can't help but go,
When I left and didn't,
why did I
also-
do all those things
Yeah.
for nothing?
When you leave and you turn around and you're like, I'm doing something different,
Yeah.
and then they're mean or they're hateful
Yeah.
or they do something like, why?
Yeah.
It's like you asked like they acted like I had asked for something when
Right.
that wasn't the case.
Right.
What I've learned is since I've gotten here, and a lot of people from South Florida are transplants. They come in from other places because they've experienced stories like this
Absolutely.
and things like this that have happened to them, and they got sick of it, or they reached a ceiling and they couldn't get any higher, or they felt pushed out, or they felt some kind of way, and they're
Mm-hmm.
here now. What I've learned is those people will help you because they've been there before.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's it.
The people at my table, like, were not my people. Sitting at new tables now, watching people reciprocate and do for me without me even asking.
Yeah, where you're
I-
going, why are you doing this?
I'm like, I'm like not good at it. I don't know how to receive it now. I'm
exactly,
broken.
exactly.
Like, somebody does something nice for me. I show up at their house with like a new car. I'm like, thank you.
And they're like, what? This
you
is
doing?
completely overdone.
The crazy part about it is typically
Could have
people
just got
that-
me a coffee.
Right.
Like, and actually, you didn't even need to do
You can
that.
just text me, thank you, you weird girl. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm damaged because now I'm like, oh my gosh, you did something nice for me and I didn't ask you and I didn't
Yeah.
know that you existed because I was just like totally jaded on my way
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah.
so
But that's what's even more wild about it is that typically people like us who will sit and have a conversation, the outgoing people,
Yeah.
don't typically ask for anything.
No, they don't.
why is that?
So the crazy
Very
thing
rarely.
is when you need something, like the one time and
Yes,
however
that's
long
why
you
it
need
hurts
something,
so much.
That's what makes it painful.
That's what makes
Because
it
it's
painful.
like I will never ask for anything.
Like you
And
will,
then-
yes, you go along with
don't like it.
whatever. You're happy with whatever. You'll do anything for anyone.
Right.
You'll. I have literally, you know, the term "give the shirt off your back." I've
Yeah.
literally given the shirt off my back.
Where?
Like, well, at work, but like,
We're
but
gonna
I
talk
mean,
about
more
that.
than
Is that
once.
on
Coming up
a,
next, everybody.
Yeah, is that on a video
For another
somewhere?
girl that
No.
wanted it. But I'm just saying, it's like you do those things because it's who you are.
Right.
So when you find out that someone in your life, like, it just, they're just not. It's not even a matter of like being able to. They just don't think that it matters. Like, and that makes you feel like I don't matter.
But
Yeah,
you know
it
what's
does.
funny? I
It's
think
sad.
about things like this sometimes, and it's funny to me because, and this would obviously be a very insincere reason for doing something, but you'd think people like that would have like self-preservation at the very least in mind, and they would do that one thing because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they'd receive it back
Yeah,
tenfold.
tenfold.
So the crazy part is they
Tenfold.
don't even do it to preserve their own.
Because
life
it's so
with
true. It's
somebody.
like you do one
It's
nice thing
wild.
for me.
It's like,
Insane.
I've got you
crazy.
forever. I'll go to prison for
Right.
you at this point.
Same.
Right.
You show up for me in a dark moment when I
The
didn't
loyalty is thick.
Yeah, once I know you're loyal to
Yes.
me, like I just freely am for you when I shouldn't be, like there's nothing I
done
won't
deal.
do for you.
They're-
Nothing.
same.
Nothing.
Are you like that too?
Yes.
Is that how you are?
The undyingly
loyalty.
loyal?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is undyingly loyal.
Yep. So am I.
She think I'm a people pleaser.
But he is. I tell him all the time. I'm like, I know
Did
I'm
she
a people
diagnose
pleaser,
you?
but whoa,
She did.
whoa.
I usually she helps. Like her advice helps me though because sometimes I need to hear certain things,
I know.
and she's not the first one to say things. But you know what it is? I always look at things like it's such little effort for me.
Yeah,
to
exactly, 'cause
try
it's
to-
who you
yeah,
are.
to like do the right thing or what I feel is the right thing. I don't care. And then when people look in and say, and she doesn't mean it disrespectfully, but there
Yeah.
are people that will come in and say, "Oh, you're just such a people pleaser." Like
I
that
don't mean
means
it like
nothing.
that.
No, you don't. But there are people that will say things like that. Like it means nothing to me when you say it because at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit. Like
No, you don't care to give. Like
no, like it's
But my thing is like, and I told him this earlier. Is like you can do whatever you want. And I think it's amazing that you are such a good person, that you will go above and beyond when you don't have to, because I'm the same way, so I get it. But sometimes it's one thing to go above and beyond. It's another to go above and beyond and then have no boundaries in place either and let that person take advantage of it. Like, and I've learned that the hard way. And that's the only reason I even say it is because I've learned it the hard way. Like, you have to have some self-preservation.
That's right. You're right.
You do. And it's sad, and I hate it. Like, I do. But sometimes when you give too much, people will take advantage of it, and they'll leave you at your darkest moment, and then you're going, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why did I do all of this for a person that literally could watch me get hit by a bus and wouldn't even call 911?
And then what does that do for
right.
how does that make you show up everywhere else in your life after that? Like, once that happens to you, you're right. It is weird. It's like a turn-off switch, and you're like, okay,
literally,
how do I do it? Because I'm so not used to being this person. But you're right. When you learn that you have to have those boundaries and you put them in place, that's a whole nother lesson.
It's hard
that's
as a people pleaser.
That's a whole nother lesson.
It's hard.
I'm working on that too right now.
I am too, yeah.
It's really hard for me.
It's so hard.
I'm in the real estate industry, which everybody and their brother and their aunt and their cousin and their sister
Especially
and their
in
mom
Florida.
is. Oh my God, everybody is. Well, it's like as soon as the market gets good, everybody's like, I'm going to do that, and whatever. But like, I have agents that have never even like written an offer. They'll come in and they're like, I want a 90-10 split. And I'm like, cool, don't call me.
Find someone else.
I'll sign it,
I'll
but
refer
I'm
you
like,
to somebody.
I'm not sure. You can have that, but don't call me. Like, if I'm going to broker you and I'm going to help you and you're going to need me, like, you're going to not pay me 10%. Like, my time is more valuable. I feel more valuable, but this is all new me, right? Like, old me would be like, you know what? I'll
just this once.
I'll just do it. Yeah, you're a really nice person, and I really they just like you, and I'm gonna give you a shot. And I think that, you know what? I am gonna try to do it. New me is different, and it's relieving. It does give me some confidence back that I think that I lost. I'm a very confident person, but like, I think that giving so much nonstop like that really did cost me a little bit of that.
Well, and the
internal
more you
confidence.
value yourself and your time and what you're offering, the more other people will respect it too. Like,
That's true.
It does.
know,
it changes the whole.
they start treating you differently because they know they can't pull one over on you.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not like they're like, oh, she's so greedy. They're not even thinking about that. They just know these are the terms.
Yeah,
Right.
she values herself.
It'll
Yeah.
also keep certain people away from you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because it's they see something that they just know they're not going to be able to break through.
Yes.
So
Which I love.
And they wouldn't even
It's new
consider
for
it.
me. I feel like
I would never
Right.
even ask her for that. She is,
yeah. Meanwhile, you're fine. They know they're not going to get what they're looking for.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
what they need from you.
And like you said, they're going to go away.
Right,
And then
and
the
they're
right
gonna go
ones are
away.
going to stay. Like today, how long did we fight about who was paying for like lunch?
But that's what
You
happens
guys
with
should
people pleasers.
with givers and people pleasers. Like
Yeah.
the waiter was like, you know what? Just honestly, I'm going to get it.
That's
Go.
when you just
Can you just
They
leave?
should try to pay for my
you,
Uber.
You got to tell.
It's like, no.
You got to tell your friends like I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
But I
And
do
then you
the
just pay
same thing.
bill.
He did it too earlier at the airport today. He's like, I'll get it. And I'm like, no, you don't need to get my Uber. And he's like, no, I will. I want to. And I'm learning to finally go, okay, yes, okay, fine. You can do it.
Well, yeah, you gotta
like,
let people,
even
you
letting
know.
you get lunch. I don't
That was
like.
brilliant. What he just told me. That I'm going to use that.
What?
You go to the bathroom and you go pay the bill.
Go pay the bill. That's what I do.
I love South Florida. You learn something new every day.
That's exactly what I do. I think it's the easiest way to just keep everybody out of it.
That's
So
a good valid
smart,
point.
Honestly, that's brilliant.
That's it. Nobody knows by the time you're like, oh, somebody asked for the check. Oh, that was taken care of already.
Nice.
That's it.
And then you look like a boss too.
You're
You're
like,
like, what's up?
I got you.
Like, what's up? That's amazing.
It's nothing.
Don't mention it. It's
Don't
all right.
mention it.
Get me
You're
next
welcome.
time.
Funny. That's so funny. Yeah.
But yeah, the world's a crazy place. It really is.
It's broken right now.
It is.
Don't you feel like it's getting a little better? Do you? I do. Maybe that's because I'm healing.
Yes and no.
No, that's why you feel that way. I don't necessarily think it's getting better.
You're like, that's a you thing. That's getting worse.
No, 'cause
Like,
I think if anything, maybe it's not getting worse. I mean, I don't know. I see things like I told you, like some of these podcast hosts out there today and some of these guys. And at least for me, maybe I just focus more on the guys in the world and just how chivalry's gone and the respect for women is down to like an all-time low.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest thing about it is it's almost like, I know you had a mother at some point in your life, right? Or a sister, or you have
Right.
daughters. Like, so on some level, like you should have like an innate respect for women, but
You
you don't.
should, but you want to know what the problem is, and she and I talked about this earlier. It's because now suddenly, with the world changing the way it has, women are now competition too. Women were never competition before.
Oh yeah, this is
They had a role to
good.
play,
Right.
and men controlled it all. Right? You were a stay-at-home wife. You stayed home with the children. You didn't work. You didn't provide. You made the dinner. You cleaned the house. You got all the bills paid. I mean, you didn't pay for them, but like women played a role that worked for men.
Right.
But now women are coming into the workforce and they're doing it not always better, but at least just as good. And so now they're not just competing against other men; they're competing against women now too.
Yeah, but you're going to
Bingo.
lose respect for women.
I
I
said
mean,
bingo a lot,
but I'm
too.
saying, all right,
And that's
Good
that,
points.
But that I'm saying that's part of it. I think.
right. It could be. for
Is
sure.
that men are not intimidated, but they're having to compete now in ways with women that they didn't before, and they don't like that. That's an ego killer.
It's an ego killer, but it's still, I still don't get the disconnect where
No,
the
you don't
level
get
of
it, 'cause you have respect for
drops
women.
so severely. Where it's
But it's
like,
because women
like it's offensive to me, and I'm not even a woman.
because
It's
women aren't
insane.
catering anymore because they don't have to anymore.
Right.
And what's sad about this is that men and women work better together. We do better together. We are literally meant to be the yin and the yang. We're different in
Absolutely.
different ways. We're alike in ways, but we're meant to fit together well. But because of ego and pride and envy and competition, we're at each other's, we're just at each other's throats. We're not.
There's no cohesion anymore between men and
No,
women. It's kind of
it's a
insane,
competition, and so now I have to put them down. I have to put them down and put them back in their place in the kitchen.
Right.
Women shouldn't be acting like this. They should be completely wholesome and at home and cooking and all of these things. And I should be able to do whatever I want still, like my grandfather did in the 50s.
Right.
Which is like hearing this,
It's-
it's crazy to me. Like no.
But that's why they call men like your husband a simp,
yes,
because he's your
Exactly.
Right.
partner.
What is this word?
He's your
simp?
partner.
It's new.
It's like a derogatory word.
It just
for-
basically-
for men that
Can I
cater
call him
to-
that when I get home? What do you
No.
guys think?
No, no.
Why not?
No.
You guys, I'll record it.
It's
so
an
you can.
offensive word. For
You don't
sure.
ever want to call him that.
I'm just kidding. I won't do that. No.
So,
Get
a
dog.
simp is a doormat. If you really want
Okay,
to know what
that
an
was like
actual
the
simp
thing
is, a
is.
simp is a doormat.
This is a new word for my old.
That basically
ass.
worships the woman.
Right. Basically.
Like,
So
puts,
any
puts a woman on a pedestal, she's a goddess to
Right.
him.
Oh,
Like,
he definitely doesn't do
so
that.
here's
But
the
like,
thing.
even if he
there's a way
did,
that-
No, but
What's wrong with that?
No.
That's a little extreme. It's more men that other men feel overly advocate for women.
Right.
So they'll call them simps.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's fine. But at
Okay.
the end of the day, if that, and I said to somebody online the other day, if that makes me, I said, then that's the new gold standard.
Is that it?
Apparently.
Like, are we doing this now? Like, that's
Then-
what we're doing.
Then we
like,
must. Then you need to be a simp, because at the end of the day, that's what men used to be like, and that's how it should be.
I don't think they used to be, but
Well, no, what I'm saying is not necessarily used to be. Oh, you don't think men were ever more chivalrous?
I think
toward
that
women?
it's. I think it was probably worse than we realized.
You don't think
honestly.
there's been a digression though since?
But
like,
I don't
our
think they
generation?
did because they didn't have to. Again, women fit a certain role and they played
Right.
that role for a really long time
But I mean,
without
like-
arguing
Yeah,
it.
but I'm talking more like
Yeah.
the disrespect, like the level
Yeah.
of disrespect that women.
Oh,
are shown.
okay,
Like the
yes, no.
publicity.
Yeah, like
Oh, 100%.
The publicity
Yeah.
of
The
it is
publicity
Yeah,
of it is
unreal.
No, for
wild.
sure. For
Like,
sure. You're right. Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
I
the-
think I misheard you, but yes, you're totally right.
Yeah, that's more what I'm talking. And then the
Yeah.
hypocrisy. Like men kill me sometimes.
Unreal. And you're right. Like, what about, like, that was kind of like the number one thing I was looking for in a long-term partner was a man who loved his mom.
Yes.
If he was able to. If she was alive and
Right.
here or there, wherever he was or around in his life, whatever. But, like, that was like a thing. Like, how does he treat his mother?
Yeah, because that's how he'll
a
treat you.
reflection on how he's going to treat me, right?
Yeah.
Like, and my husband still to this day treats his mother wonderfully. Like,
Yeah.
he still opens the car doors for me. He still
Right.
opens the doors for me. Like,
Wow.
it's still there and it does exist. He doesn't care about the noise. Like I said, he's not on socials. I want to know where the rest of them are. Like, you seem like you are one.
He
like,
is.
Thank you.
He is.
You do seem like you are one, which is really nice to see. You do too.
He
already.
is.
Just, and that's another thing. Like, I feel like me and you are really good at reading rooms and like that you can kind of sense somebody's energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
immediately.
You sense their vibe. for
Yeah,
sure.
you can get a vibe immediately, and I think it's super cool because they do exist.
Yeah.
and then you have to find that one that fits with you, which is another whole thing. But you're right. Like, when did it become the norm to dog women the way that it is?
Yeah,
That's
so
a huge
public.
thing.
And then call yourself an alpha.
Yeah.
like, that's
and
what
then call
blows my
yourself out.
mind.
And you know what happens?
It's like-
And other females see it, and then it gives us leverage to treat each other like shit.
Well,
Like,
and that's the
Well,
thing.
it's-
It's all rooted in insecurity.
Yeah.
And I don't care who it's coming from or where it's coming from or why. The moment you feel the need to put someone down, you are revealing your insecurity.
what did you say today? When we were in the car, when you were like, the minute that I sit down with anybody, man, woman, anybody, and they start,
Yeah, it's the second I am very weird about like gossip, and I'm not going to say I've never done it. I'm not going to say I don't partake here and there, but I always feel guilty if I have. But it's
Right.
not like my thing, and I don't care for it. I don't like it, and I'm very like I have boundaries with people like that, where it's like the minute I hear someone talking badly about a person that's not there to defend themselves, I'm immediately like, okay, yeah, I'm going to hold you at a distance no matter what.
Right.
And it doesn't mean I'll be mean to you. I might still like you. I might still pick up your call here and there, but there is going to be a wall here where you won't ever get to cross over because I don't trust people like
yeah,
that.
the
Right.
minute you're getting up there.
I don't trust that.
Yeah. they're
Like
gonna
you,
do it
if you are talking
you,
bad about
you know?
somebody that's not in the room, then I know you're going to talk bad about me when I'm not there.
Course. They
Yeah.
absolutely
You know?
will.
Yep.
And I've had that a lot. There have been so many people that like, I don't even care if people talk bad about me. It's whatever. I could care less. It does not bother me. It's like, and it doesn't matter who it is. If someone's like, yeah, so and so is saying this about you. Okay, well, whatever.
Oh, it's because you're very secure.
I know it's not
yourself.
true, but whatever. If people believe it, then that's on them. Like,
Right. That's listen. That's what happens when you're secure with who you are. You don't care about anybody else.
well, I just know I'm
'Cause you
doing my
know-
best.
Right.
I know I'm doing my best to be a good person, and if someone needs to make up stories about me, one, I know they're not true,
Right.
and two, it's just revealing to me who they are. Like,
Oh. Well, that's
and that's sad. I actually find it sad. Like, I think it's sad that you
There's
feel.
that misery loves company.
Yeah.
thing, I
Well, this is the
guess.
way I look at it. The sooner you show me your true colors, the better off I am.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I'd rather see it like
Yeah, very
from the
true.
onset,
Like immediately.
immediately.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad. Like you 2 years ago and you now are such different people.
Oh,
it makes me
God.
so proud because you really have self-reflected a lot and learned and listened and grown and talked to a lot of people. I feel like that are
Yeah.
helping you. You know, I really think as a
I
person,
didn't know who I was.
No, I think that
2
you
years
did. I
ago.
think you were just jaded and broken so many times in a row by so many people that just didn't. You are built for like bigger things. And so to hear you and how you speak on your socials and like all of that is so beautiful and eloquent and it is in you. Like
I don't want.
she believes
my
in it. You
experiences,
know,
No, you
like-
can tell she
believes
believes
in it.
Absolutely.
I do because I know I've been the person that was talked about.
Yeah.
That didn't deserve it. I've been the person that was betrayed that didn't deserve it. I've been the person that was abandoned that didn't deserve it. I've been the person that I've been that person so many times, and I know how deeply painful it is. And so it is so important for me, one, to find myself and to build that confidence so that I can show people the way. Because I've been there, I know what it feels like, and I know now how important it is to rely on yourself for a lot of things that you hoped other people would show up for, but they don't.
Yeah.
And it's a painful, life-altering change that sometimes you have to face. Like we talked about having a tower moment in your life where you have to look at your life and go, I can never see people the same. I can never show up the same. I'll never be the same.
Right.
Because of how deeply this has hurt and how many times this has had to happen to me when I genuinely know I didn't deserve it. But I also don't want other people to have to go through that. Like if me going through that and sharing the pain of it and the process of healing from that and sharing the ways that people can protect themselves is the one thing I can do to give purpose to what I've been through, then I will, because I know how hard it is. And I don't like for people to suffer. I don't like for people to be in pain. I would never purposely put someone in pain myself, and I just don't want that. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be whole. I want everyone to have purpose. I want everyone to feel valuable and worthy, because they are. They are, and it is so sad when broken people continue the cycle, because even the people that are hurting you are broken somewhere inside, and something happened to them that caused them to be that way. And it's like somebody has to take the pain that they've endured and break the wheel. They have to break the
Absolutely.
cycle. Somebody has to stop perpetuating the pain that they've been caused on other people and say, you know what, no. I'm not going to be that person that continues this path of like hurting other people because I've been hurt.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. As usual, we appreciate it. Remember, follow us on IG at notfornothing.podcast. You can follow us on YouTube at notfornothingpodcast. And you can also follow us on TikTok at notfornothingpodcast. Be sure to check Ashley out at Samani Realty. She's got an amazing business. If you're looking to buy a house, she's the one to go to. IG at Ashley Travers _. Definitely check her stuff out. Give her a call. She's the one you want to buy your house from.
As always, thank you all for watching. You know how much we appreciate you. So be sure to join us next week for part 2 with the lovely and amazing Ashley Travers. She's been great, and the three of us are going to dive even deeper into the topics you heard here today.
Guys, thank you. We appreciate it. Give us some more feedback. Have a good night. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a wrap.